Greetings metalheads and welcome to No Nonsense Metal Reviews. I'm George. Today I have another installment of bands you need to hear for you. Another band recommendation. If you're not familiar with these guys, you really ought to check them out, make yourself acquainted because they are well worth your time. Might even be your next favourite thing. So today's recommendation, a young band, only been around a handful of years, have one album, full-length album to their credit, which came out last year in 2022. A band hailing from Iceland, of all places. Not a renowned metal capital of the world, but certainly unique. In terms of their sound and style, I think that they are a really refreshing take on a few subgenres of metal that are well and truly being replicated constantly. They're showing signs of saturation and wear. But these guys, they really do stand out for me from the crowd. I'm talking about the mighty power metal paladins, Power Paladin. Absolutely love this album cover. Absolutely fantastic. This just reeks of Middle-earth fantasy, sort of Dragon Age style fantasy. I absolutely love it. It's a beautiful piece of artwork there. Absolutely love it. So, just to give a bit of a background, I do have the vinyl copy of this album. I do not have the CD. Weirdly enough, and I just don't understand this when this happens sometimes. A little bit of a rant. The vinyl was, and I don't know if it was just a glitch, maybe it was just a promotion thing, but shortly after this album came out is when I discovered the band through one of the singles, Craven the Hunter. I then went to purchase the album, and the CD was about £15. I thought, that is ridiculous. There's no way that I'm going to pay for that. I'll wait for it to go down. And then I noticed that the vinyl was about £13. And I don't know, as I say, I don't know if that's a glitch or what, but I decided, obviously, I'm going to get the vinyl. Love it. Absolutely brilliant. And what's even cooler, I don't know if you can see down there, we've got a little sticker saying that it's a limited run of 1,000. And this is a very nice coloured kind of marble swirl effect vinyl. Very nice indeed. Very nice. Nice and colourful. That's what we like. There's something really special. I know I've said this before in a few reviews, but something really special about coloured vinyl. So that is the story of why I have the vinyl rather than the CD, which CD is my primary format, as I've said on this channel numerous times. But the reason is nothing particularly special other than the fact that I would not pay more for the CD than for the vinyl. Especially not when you get all this lovely artwork here. So let's talk about the album, shall we? Let's go into the details about Power Paladin. As I say, this is their first album. This is with the Magic of Windfyre Steel. And this is essentially a power metal album. But I would say that these guys lean heavily on the side of traditional heavy metal rather than out there completely bombastic power metal. Certainly with that cover and the aesthetic, I was expecting them to sound a lot like Twilight Force, who I would consider to be one of the most kind of out there extreme power metal bands around. But there is plenty of Maiden in here. There is plenty of sort of priest-isms, if you like. There's not too much extreme in terms of power metal, not too much extremity in there. You get a lot of good old-fashioned heavy metal, but you do get little flourishes of the likes of Dragon Force here and there. There are Helloween moments in here too. There's a little bit of that kind of extreme power metal edge, but not too much. It's not too beyond the realms of heavy metal. So I would say it's definitely power metal, but it is not the sort of stuff that will just turn a lot of people away because it's just way too out there. I would say it's a cracking record. We kick off with the track Craven the Hunter on side A there, which is one of the singles from the album. And that is a great, brilliant example of a very heavy metal sounding power metal track. the likes of Hammerfall or Helloween. But the riff, the opening riff of that song, reminds me so much of an Iron Maiden riff, and I think off the top of my head it might be from The Wicker Man, from the opening track from Brave New World. It is almost note for note that riff, and that's the one thing that I have not been able to get over, because when I am humming the song to myself or going over it in my head, it suddenly turns into whatever Maiden song that is. So I need to confirm which track that is, but other than that, it's a storming, heavy power metal track. Righteous Fury, the second track there, another brilliant track. Really, really like that one. Again, it's very heavy metal in its leaning. Third track, Evermore. That is much more of a power metal number. We get this sort of beautiful intro to the song before we get these great chugging riffs. We get all the furious barrage drumming. We've got great highs and shrieks in terms of our vocals. We've got a whole lot of power there. We do have a few sort of aggressive backing vocal parts on tracks like Righteous Fury, and I believe it might be on Dark Crystal as well. Interesting, it just adds a little bit of a different dynamic to the songs. But all three of those tracks so far, great tracks. Dark Crystal, that is a personal highlight for me. That has a bit of a strange sort of Mercyful Fate, King Diamond sort of menacing, sinister edge to it as well. Not just a conventional power metal track by any means at all. It's heavy metal, and it's got a bit of a dark, sinister edge to it. Way of Kings, great heavy power metal moment there. Some cracking riffs. All of those tracks I just mentioned, full of cracking riffs. Brilliant leads, furious stuff. There's plenty of melody, there's plenty of harmonies. It's brilliant stuff. It's just really enjoyable metal. Ride the Distant Storm, Creatures of the Night, another great track there. Another one of these heavy metal, power metal tracks. Really catchy. Just got plenty of power, plenty of genuine sound. And what I really like about Power Paladin is that although there are little flourishes of Maiden or Helloween or Dragon Force or whoever else it might be, they do still sound quite unique. They don't sound exactly like an imitation of Band X or Band Y. They have their own edge and their own style. Into the Forbidden Forest, another good track, as is the closing track there. There Can Be Only One. A little bit more of a longer, slightly grander piece. But overall, it's not a massively long album. Less than an hour, certainly. But it's just a brilliant heavy metal, power metal album. And I very much look forward to hearing the next Power Paladin album whenever that comes out. You could be forgiven for sort of thinking there's like a video game kind of edge to this. There's a bit of a, almost like this should be the soundtrack to something, but it really should. This is the perfect sort of music to be listening to when you're playing Dragon Age or Elder Scrolls or any of these great fantasy games. This is perfect soundtrack to it. It's metal, but it's got that fantasy edge. It's got that Dungeons and Dragons. It's got magic and mystery to it. So if you like power metal, if you like heavy metal, if you like lots of good solid riffs, shrieking vocals, these guys are really solid musicians. There's no escaping that. I'm not going to try and butcher the pronunciation of their names because I don't want to insult them in that way, but really talented young musicians, really good band, and I think these guys are definitely going to go places. If they've got metal of this quality, they're proven their worth already. So there you have it, a band you absolutely need to hear. Power Paladin from Iceland, with this, the debut album with the Magic of Windfyre Steel, a really solid release. Definitely check it out if you have not heard it. Definitely for fans of Helloween, for fans of Twilight Force, Maiden. It's just good metal with a little bit of an extreme kind of fantasy vibe to it. Really good stuff. Absolutely love it. So check it out and let me know what you think. If there are any other fans of Power Paladin out there, let me know your thoughts and opinions. I'm interested to hear. Thanks for watching, my friends. Do check back soon for more reviews and recommendations of all the good heavy stuff. Take care. Stay heavy.